This is my fully upgraded XU SCX24, and recently I actually downgraded something on this car just as an experiment, but it turned out to actually make this car perform better. Alright, so what have I actually done to this car? Well, I used to run some of these oil-filled big bore shocks on this car, but I actually replaced those with some of these double barrel friction shocks, and generally going from an oil-filled shock to a friction shock is a downgrade. But the reason I did this is because online I saw a lot of pictures and videos of SCX24 builds with insane amounts of suspension flex, and I thought it looked really cool and I wanted to replicate that. So just as an experiment I got a set of these double barrel shocks, because if you have a look at these shocks side by side, the oil-filled shock is a lot shorter, the double barrel shock is a lot longer, but once you compress both of the shocks, then the double barrel shock is a lot shorter than the oil-filled shock, so the maximum amount of travel from the double barrel shocks is absolutely ridiculous. And by putting them on the car we did indeed get that insane amount of suspension flex, but that did come with a few issues. So it was more one issue actually, but what happened is because these shocks are so long, when you start to climb an obstacle, the weight of the truck starts pulling on those shocks and fully extends those shocks. And because of that, the center of gravity is pulled away from the surface, away from the car, and the car just tips over backwards, both when you're going uphill and when you're going downhill as well. So I've got a solution for that, and it's very simple. I just use some rubber bands. I've got it installed here in the back right now. Just use some rubber bands to limit the maximum amount of axle drop. Because right now, as you can see, the rear axle barely drops anything at all. Because the maximum amount of drop it could get is a lot more. It's pretty hard to show right now, but yeah. You can see this is the amount of drop you get in the front, and this is all we got in the back right now. And well, I've got the same rubber band situation here on the front, just I haven't got it hooked up right now because I wanted to show you what would happen if you didn't have it on there. So that's one thing I did to improve the performance with these shocks. And one other thing I did, just to help with the flex a little bit, is on all these suspension links, I actually removed one of the rubber O-rings, because as you can see all of them have just one on there, and usually there are two. And by doing that you allow those links to move just a little more freely. It feels a little bit floppy like this, but it does allow to get a lot more travel out of the links. So with those limiting straps the axles barely drop down anything at all, but we do still get a lot of suspension flex, which is what we want. And one other benefit of those limiting straps is they really pull the car down to the axles. And because of that, the shocks are fully compressed right now, as it just sits right here. And like that, the car is at as low as it can possibly get, so the center of gravity is as low as we can get as well. And it's actually a lot lower than we could get with these oil-filled shocks, because as I showed you, when these are fully compressed, they're actually longer than those double barrel shocks. And when I had these shocks on there, they never sit fully compressed, they were like halfway or something. So overall this car has gotten a lot better, our center of gravity is lowered, we get more suspension flex. Yeah, overall it's a lot better, and I've actually already tried this out, and yeah, it does actually perform better. So let's go take it out and show you. Alright, but before that I want to try and show you in a little more detail how I got those limiting straps installed right here. So here in the front, I've just got it wrapped around the front upper linkage mount thing. As you can see in there, hopefully, maybe, it's part of the servo mount as well. But just around there. And then it goes around the servo here. And then I have it looped around this body mounting situation thing. And then back down, and well, that's the circle. That's how the front one sits. Because this is just a rubber band, you can easily just wrap it around something one more time. For example, I can put it around this if I want it stiffer, or I can take it off around this and just hook it on only this part of the chassis, for example, if I want it looser. And here on the back, again, I just got it wrapped around the upper linkage mount. And then it goes, and then it comes up. And then it goes around the chassis rails. I had to take off the body here in the back, just 2 screws. And it just like slides over the chassis rails and just wraps around that. So hopefully that makes sense. That's how I did it in case you want to do it as well or something. But yeah, now let's go take it out and let's show you how it does. Here we are in the forest at my favorite tree. And the challenge here is to drive all the way around this tree without the car ever touching dirt. It's got to stay on the roots of the tree. And I've gotten pretty close already before upgrading these shocks. But there were like 1 or 2 spots that were like impossible. And that was when it was bone dry. Now it's kind of wet, a little bit damp. And I've already made it once all the way around. So let's see if we can recreate that. Right, let's go. The very wide stance is not great for this start point, but hey. This first part is pretty easy. Nothing too crazy. I took that line a little weird, but oh, we're sliding, but I think we can recover. Yeah, no problem. Right, now we're getting to one of the more interesting bits. See the nice suspension flags, are so cool. Right, so the thing is, we need to get around this, but it's like very vertical, and you have to go down that, you have to drive like that way, so you're sideways and on pretty much vertical ledge. So the chances of falling over are really high. Just like that. That was actually the easiest I've ever done it. Usually it takes a couple tries. Right, this is a similar type of obstacle, but even more extreme and much wider. So this one's very hard. I've never been able to do this one before. At least not before I changed out these shocks. So let's see if we can do it again, because it's still hard. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. Oh no. I'm also still not fully sure what the ideal line is, but oh. I mean, a little speed can help, but that was a little too much.
Oh no, that was very close. Oh, yes, let's go. Man, I'm so happy that we made it. Now we have still a few pretty tough parts to go, but we've managed to get past the hardest bit, so pretty proud of that. Oh no. One day I should really try to get a clean lap all the way around without falling once, but for now we gotta do like this. I just don't have the patience to drive this 100 times in a row, trying to get it perfect. If I know we can do it, that's good enough for me. This is the last hard bit. Let's see if we can get it up there. First try. Look at that suspension flex. So cool. Don't slide down now, please. We're almost there. Nope. A little bit of a different approach. Try to climb up straight away. Probably works better. Ah, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Damn, that's real nice. Wow. Impressed. And that's it. All the way back round. Right, that's one lap around the tree completed. I wanted to drive a little more with this car just to enjoy it, but the batteries of my transmitter have died sadly, so yeah, I'm forced to go home now. But at least we made it around the tree once, and actually fairly easy as well, because it took me overall I think 9 minutes or something to get all the way around, and before it took me at least 20 minutes, and there were even some parts that I didn't make as a skip. So in 9 minutes we did everything and we completed everything, so I'm very happy with this thing. And usually at the end of the video I would give something that I want to improve on it, but honestly I can't think of anything. So if you know anything I can do to improve this car, please let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and if you want to see what I'm going to do with this car or some other SCX24s or any RC cars or any RC vehicles, you gotta subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next video. Yo.